guys, my name is Mrs. Hoey and I'm going to be working with you on the oboe beginning band warm-ups. So we're going to start with the long tone warm-up, and this is the one that starts on the first 5 notes of our B-flat concert scale in whole notes. I'm going to put my metronome on at 80 beats per minute, which is a really great starting tempo. If you feel that this starts to get a little too easy for you, you can definitely go slower, but I wouldn't go any faster. 80 beats a minute or slower is where you want to be for long tones. We're going to make sure we take a nice big deep breath. We're going to make sure that your posture is really great and you're holding the instrument correctly, and then give it your best shot. So the important thing is to try to keep your breath as steady as you possibly can. You want to try to think about your airspeed being the same, like you're putting your air on cruise control and you're going to stay at that same speed with your air the entire way through. If your air starts to slow down, that's when you're going to have trouble with the reed vibrating and it won't make the right noise. So let's go ahead and we're going to move on to number 2 underneath your long tone warm up. This one is for 8 counts each, so you're going to hold each note, which is actually a great amount of time. And you're going to notice that in that rest in between is a really great time to make sure that you breathe. Now on oboe specifically, you're going to have some air left over. When you breathe, you want to actually breathe out first before you take another deep breath in. So you have a nice big amount of time in between each one of those tied whole notes to breathe out and then breathe back in. And you'll probably see me do that as I play this warm up. So you should have noticed me breathing out, pushing that old air out before I took a new big deep breath of new air in. And that really helps, especially on oboe, because you're pushing lots of air through that tiny, tiny little reed, and not all of it is going in there. So you're going to have some stale air that's kind of left up here in your lungs and maybe in your throat. And so you want to let that go. You have to release that air before you take another big deep breath in. So it's a really great exercise for oboe players specifically, so you get that out and in breath in between those notes. It's really, really important. So make sure that your reed is in the center of your lips as much as you possibly can. I know sometimes in my video it might look like I'm off to the side just because of the angle of the video, but you want to have equal pressure around the entire reed. Think about a drawstring bag that kind of pulls your lips, and all the way around you want to have equal pressure. Try not to have more pressure on the top and bottom, which is what usually happens for oboe players. You want to use these corners really, really strong as well. Don't let that kind of get loose on you. You want to make sure that they're really tight all the way around and that you have a good amount of reed in your mouth. Be careful that you're not way at the tip of the reed or that you're way down at the end. You want to be sort of in the middle, and that's a good spot, but you can play around with that when you play your long tones to see what sounds the best. So hopefully that was good for long tones. You want to make sure you're playing long tones every day as part of your practice. Don't just stick with your B-flat scale. If you know your other scales, you can do long tones with those as well.